Today, I'm here at the Singapore Kindness Movement with the General Secretary, Dr. William Wan, and we're going to talk about a little bit of what SKM is doing in Singapore. Hi, good afternoon, Dr. Wan.
Hi.
So, Dr. Wan, the Singapore Kindness Movement, probably the name itself says it all, but could you tell us a little bit of what SKM does and, well, why it's needed in Singapore?
SKM is an advocacy movement. It is a movement with a mission, and we are passionate about encouraging Singaporeans and residents to create a better society, to be a greater version of ourselves so that we can make Singapore a more gracious and a kinder society.
I think we all inherently know that kindness, even from our first steps, typically our parents would already say that you get taught all of this in school, that kindness is a very important part of human behavior, of us being people.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting also to know that there is a advocacy here, but also at the same time, what do you think is, well, I'm just going to coin the phrase, the state of kindness, I'm not sure, but what do you think is
the state of kindness?
Yeah, the state of kindness in Singapore here.
That's been asked quite often.
Okay.
Sometimes people are trying to trap me by saying, are you implying that we are not kind? So my answer is very straightforward. We are kind, but we can be kinder. So, we are so busy, we're caught up with our lives and our work and our interests, and sometimes you're self-absorbed. You see many people today, young and old, if you see them on the buses, MRT, parks, you see them even in restaurants, you see them self-absorbed with their gadget, whether it's an iPhone or an iPad, and they are not aware of what's going on around us. So kindness movement is about nudging, reminding, encouraging us to be aware so that we can reach out with kindness to people around us, that we don't live in isolation, we live in community. Right. And community needs that kind of interface, interaction, words of kindness to support each other, action of kindness to bless each other, and I think that will make a society better.
Again, I mentioned that it's very encouraging to hear that as well, but also I mentioned that these are things that probably supposed to be inherent in our culture, ourselves, something that we should know. But are there simple habits, do you think, that people probably should do more or could do just a little bit more just to help someone out and make the day a little bit better?
When I was a young kid, I remember watching an old video produced by some organization similar to the kindness movement, but from another country. And it was a song about the 3 magic words: please, sorry, and thank you. How about that?
Yep.
Those are magical words. We can say more of the please when we go and buy some things and be served, and just say, please, may I have some salt, may I have some, ketchup. That would be nice.
Yep.
Rather than say, ketchup, salt, say please, right? We treat the person waiting on us with respect and regard and give that person dignity as a fellow human being. Mm-hmm. That will make our society better. And then when we are served, just say thank you. Because some people were very surprised, people who wait on us, they don't hear thank you too much. So when somebody says thank you, they don't even know how to react. It's like, whoa, So say thank you, make it part of the norm, Norm is where we get the word normal, right? Make it part of our normal, interaction. And sorry, how about that?
Yeah.
excuse me. I think we can just make these things, part of our life without even having to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people forget how easy it is to say these words. They can still retain and hold meaning, and yet it's still very easy to say. I mean, I try my best. Of course, we're not always the most gracious that we can be all the time.
Yeah, but that's all we are required, right? To do our best, right? And then when friends point out to us, hey, you're looking like so unhappy today, you didn't even appreciate what I just did for you. And then we say, I'm sorry, I was so self-absorbed. Yeah, I got a problem. Maybe we can talk about it. That's fine. We're not perfect. Kindness is not asking us to be perfect, but simply asking us to be a better version of ourselves. And in any occasion, in any situation, we can be a better version of ourselves.
A better version of ourselves. I think that's a fantastic quote right there. I know that SKM, not just, I mean, this is great on an individual level. It's something that we should do on an individual level. But I also understand that SKM works with ground up movements as well as with organizations. Maybe could you share a little bit about how groups and probably organizations also play a part, and just beyond that individual side of things?
You see, kindness has to be something that is pervasive. We can't just be kind to one group of persons and not be kind to another. We can't be creating a kind sector and then everything else is not kind, right? So being pervasive, we try to reach out, to the different people and different, station in life, different levels of achievement, if you like, different languages. We try that as well. To the heartlanders, we try to speak in dialects and so on. Then we organize a kindred spirit circle. The kindred spirit circle, from the word kindred, that has got kind in it.
Yep.
So it's about being of the same passion, same interest, kindred. And this kindred circle is made up of 3 different groups. Our original group was actually the ground up movement. Ground up, meaning it's from ground level up. It's not initiated by government, it's not initiated by us necessarily. It's initiated by a guy like yourself, Zed, or anybody else who come to us and say, hey, you know what? We really believe in what you're doing and we want to participate in creating a better society, a kinder society. And either they say, I've got an idea, does this work if I get my friends together and we go out there and give raincoats to all these foreign workers who are working in the rain? And behold, Deepa and the raining raincoats, came into being, right? Somebody else said, you know what, we've been running around the parks, every week and we don't see people smile or greet each other. And what do you think we can do? And so we say, wow, why don't you put on the Facebook, organize it, get your friends to come together, give them a prep talk, and then go around, the parks and greet people. Go around a few times and see what happened. And they tried that, and so Morning Greeters was born, all right? So they were greeting people, and eventually they find that, people get used to seeing them greeting, and they also start to respond.
Yeah.
So now you get more people, waving at each other and saying hi and saying good morning. Wonderful. So those are ground up movements. And they can do practically anything they want to do that has to do with kindness to somebody, right? And then we have the Volks, VOLKS. You can become a Vogue, for example. You are an influencer, you are an interviewer, so you do all these things. Maybe you want to end up with all the work you do and say, be kind, everybody, You don't know what battle they are, fighting inside them. So smile, or say something that's kind. And you become a voice of loving kindness.
Right.
That's what Vogues are. Then we have Oikis. Oikis are actually organizations and initiatives, and enterprises that would deal with kindness.
Okay.
So it could be social enterprises, it could be any of the people who want to organize something that would do kind things as they do business at the same time.
That's very interesting. I mean, it looks like you've more or less covered a lot of the bases over there. So, I mean, if you're listening and you're interested, probably you might want to check out the SKM website to see how you can get involved, not just as an individual, as a collective, a group, or as an organization.
Right.
Conference.
April 25th, we're going to have a conference. We have had no conferences for the last 10 years. The
Right.
first 2 years, 12 years ago, we started with a conference, and then there was another conference, and then since then we have had no conference. So this is another conference, the third, in 12 years. And Singapore has been rolling out this idea of Singapore Forward, right? Singapore Forward means that we want to be relevant, we want to be in a place that we continue to prosper, and we continue to lift everybody up. So we want to contribute to that Singapore Forward ideal by asking everybody to come together and let's talk about how we can be a greater version of ourselves. How can we be kinder? How can we celebrate kindness and make it part of the norms of society, that it is expected, we are always in the kindness mode, which is our default mode, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be wonderful.
Now, I've been to many conferences, tech conferences, trade shows. I've never been to a kindness conference.
You must come.
Yeah.
On the 25th.
So what can
be
people
sure we invite you, okay?
So two questions then. How can someone attend? And what can an attendee expect at the conference?
Well, we have a list of invitees.
Okay.
These are almost mostly people who have been our partners, who have been connected with us in some ways. We're hoping to have 500 people at the Capitol Theatre. We will break out into small groups and we'll have some discussion about what kind of kindness activities work best, to encourage more people to be kind and stuff like that. I am not in charge of the program, but I'm just guessing that's what they're going to do. We're going to have a speaker, a keynote speaker in Dr. Gerard E., who is the chairman of the Charity Council and a very, very kind and charitable man. And we're going to have Minister Ong Yi Kang to be our guest of honor. And we're going to have a panel, with people like Bara and myself and others, just sharing some thoughts about kindness. So it's going to be a fun half-day thing.
Right.
There will be some of our Okies and Gums doing some of the exhibits and to showcase what they do. And the idea is to get our friends together, network, affirm each other, give each other, a nudge, and move forward and do more kind things.
Fantastic.
A fun afternoon.
It sounds great. And I think the Capitol Theatre, or the Capitol now, is a fantastic place. I love what they've done with it. I remember watching, it was the Tim Burton's Batman there many, many years back. So...
You look too young to have been there.
Oh, yeah, I was there. I was there. I was
that
young,
was my
but I was
favorite place before.
there. Yeah, Capitol Theatre. With the painted movie posters before we had all the digital print.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah.
It was a fantastic place. And
It's
there was
still
a
a very nice
Magnolia
place.
milk bar there and so on.
Yeah. And, okay, so Dr. Wan, to wrap things up a bit, what can, Singaporeans, members of public, expect from SKM? Probably, is there anything they should be looking out for in the next couple of months or the next year?
Every year we have a series of programs, if you like, events that are kind of a annual thing, like our Service Gold Award and our Transport Gold Award and our School Friend of Singer Award and all that. Those awards are kind of people nominated to receive the awards, and we try to affirm them because they are observed to be people who are kind and gracious, right? So we want to use them to inspire other people. And then we have the neighbourhood thing that is big, we call that the SNUFNA, Singapore's Friendly Neighbourhood Award.
Okay.
That's a new thing, brand new. This is in the inaugural year this year.
Okay.
And we've received more than 200 nominations.
Oh, that's nice.
And we're going to shortlist them to about 30, and then there will be a committee that will look into it and award a few of them. And we'll name the street or the neighborhood, the friendly neighborhood, or the friendly street, or the friendly block, depending on the context. And that would be good, because the idea is if we can join all the dots, we can have a friendly neighborhood here and a friendly neighborhood there, and over time we join the dots, then we become a friendly, community, a friendly bigger neighborhood, right? A friendly district, a friendly whatever, a friendly town even. Why not? So if we can do that, and the people carry themselves with pride because they belong to a neighborhood that is officially designated friendly. So if you wear that badge, you better be friendly, right? So friendliness is part of being kind. You see how people walk from the neighborhood to the MRT station, and everybody's either looking down, looking sideways, but not looking at each other. Talking to their friends on the, with earphone and iPhone, or even reading an iPhone and walking around as though nobody else is around. We're trying to create a better environment. We're trying to create an environment where we say, can you just look at each other and say, I'm your friend, I'm your neighbor. We started out as neighbors by chance, but we want to be friends by choice, right? And I think that would be good. So we can walk together and talk to each other, find out how each other is doing. When we come back, we meet another set of people that we have not met in the morning. We say hi, good evening, and we walk, and we discover that we're in the same block, And it's so wonderful, because when we start this kind of interaction, the buzz gets going, and positive energy start to spread around. I think we're going to go home and say, hey, I'm looking forward to go home. It's not a cold, strange place. It's a home where all my friends are.
Yep.
Why not? Yeah?
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Wan. And I think I'm really surprised and encouraged at the same time. I did not know that there's so many different things that's going on, and especially like the new Friendly Neighborhood initiative that's brand new. So once again, individuals, groups, organizations, there's just so many things going on. And if you can, or maybe probably you should, check out the SKM website. See if you can join something, or if not, nominate someone that you think deserves to be mentioned, to be recognized. And I think together, like what you said, let's try to see if we can be better versions of ourselves. So with that, thank you very much, and thank you, Dr. Wan.
Thank you. And so we say, a kinder you, a stronger us.
Fantastic. A kinder you, a stronger us. Thank you,
Yes.
and see you in the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.